and John Breakdown. And it is currently 11:24 here in the Boomer Sooner state where I'm at. And on today's docket, later today, I'm going to be live in JBCW. We're going to have a JBCW card today, probably later this evening. And we're going to talk a little bit about Brock Lesnar coming back out of nowhere and ambushing Oba. I mean, look, I knew Brock wasn't done. Okay, Brock just likes to troll the fans. And I think if Oba beats him at the Clash in Italy, which is weird, because normally that pay-per-view was the Clash at the Castle, they really need to do better with their pay-per-views. We'll see what happens. Also, a big shout out to Primetime Sean Sanders. Hopefully Prime is doing all right. Hopefully everyone else is doing okay. We're going to be having some more debuts on JBCW. We have some people that have just signed and more roster spots are being filled. We also have the Platinum Blondes, Perfect 10 Diamond and her tag team partner making their tag team debut tonight in JBCW. We will also see the return of Michael Rice Jr. Tonight on JBCW. He'll be back for his retirement tour. We will also be talking about how Aaron Rodgers has decided to come back to the Pittsburgh Steelers and see how him and Mike McCarthy do. I don't think they're going to recreate their Green Bay magic because Aaron is not the same quarterback that he was when he won the championship in 2011. And I think the San Antonio Spurs are going to win it all this year. Wemby just looks too dominant. The Spurs just look dominant. I mean, I thought the Thunder were dominant when they beat the Los Angeles Lakers. They just came out and just fell flat. SGV didn't look the same. San Antonio just we'll also see tonight if Cleveland can make it to a NBA championship finals as they take on the red hot New York Knicks. And what's up, Ducky B6W? Glad to have you on. If you're new to the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Also, tonight, me and Miyota One will be live in Baldur's Gate. So more shenanigans will be happening with that as well. Look, they just didn't look like their dominant self. Okay, look, OKC has run roughshod through the Western Conference this year, but San Antonio was able to come in the end and defeat them in double OT. Plus, Wemby looked fucking dominant. And when you have a center that's 7'1" and can't stop, I mean, I think the Spurs were a better coached basketball team than the Thunder. And I think that the Thunder have relied too heavily on SGV to, lead them to, victory. And I know I'm going to get hate, but look, I am not a Thunder or Spurs fan, okay? My team got knocked out by San Antonio, and that was the Minnesota Timberwolves, okay? I think San Antonio is better coached. I think they have a deeper bench than OKC, and I think that's going to show, especially now that Wemby's healthy, and you're going to have to try and stop Wemby in order to beat the Spurs, and the Thunder could not do that. Now, here's the scary thing that we're not talking about. LeBron James is a free agent. Imagine if LeBron James goes to the Spurs next year, or he goes to the Golden State Warriors, him and Steph Curry. Or we could see LeBron James go back to Cleveland, him, James Harden, and Donovan Mitchell. Oh God, that's a scary thought. That's a three-headed monster that I wouldn't even want to picture. Because let's be honest, the Eastern Conference Finals is the weakest conference between the two. Okay. He may be that, Victor, but you got to give the man his due. Okay. He is the all-time NBA leading scorer. And while he doesn't have Jordan's championship rings, he's the closest to this generation. You know, he's this generation's Michael Jordan. Okay, it's a different game. It's a different time. Do I still think Jordan could beat LeBron head-to-head? Yes. Because Jordan had that killer instinct, you know, on both sides of the ball. LeBron doesn't have that killer instinct, but he has that gumption that I'm not going to go down without a fight. And I think that in Jordan's era, you didn't need to have a super team. LeBron wasn't going to win a championship by himself in Cleveland. I mean, my God. He tried to lead Cleveland to a championship by himself for so many years. And then it took him going to Miami to where he got one, he got two, and then he didn't get his third and fourth championships till he went back to Cleveland, and then he went to LA in that bubble championship. So, really, honestly, I think what did the Lakers in was Doncic not being healthy, and I think the Lakers. So look, Doncic wasn't healthy most of the season, and I think Dallas knew what was up when they let him go. So, in the bigger picture, I think Dallas got the better end of that trade. Yes, they sent Anthony Davis to another team, and now he's with the Wizards. I think Anthony Davis is now with the Wizards. But you know, I think that LeBron's best years were not with Miami, but when he was with Cleveland with Kyrie Irving. And I think if Irving hadn't left, Cleveland would have won another championship back-to-back. But that was then, this is now. And my son's arguing at the TV right now. But I'm glad to have each and every one of you guys and girls watching. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We will also be talking about college football. Will Alabama return to greatness? I don't think so. I think that it's finally setting in that the Saban era of greatness is over. That the SEC run of greatness is over. Because the SEC no longer has the Urban Meyers, the Nick Sabans. Because now it's the Big Ten's reign of dominance. For the last 3.5 years, the Big Ten has won the national championship. You know, and well, no, sorry. So it was Georgia. Georgia was the last SEC champion. Then it was Ohio State. Now it's Indiana. For the last 2 years running, the Big Ten has held the national championship. Will it continue? I don't think Indiana's going to repeat, even though Curt Cignetti recruited well, and certainly winning a national championship helps. But I don't think he's going to have that favorable of a schedule this year. And I think teams, yes, you went undefeated through the whole postseason, and you didn't lose, but someone somewhere is going to figure out how to beat you. And I think Ryan Day may have the formula, and I think Justin Sayin and that Ohio State offense can beat Indiana. I think Penn State can beat Indiana. But back on the SEC side of things, Alabama needs to fix their running game. They need to go back to basics. They need to reinstall the offensive line, the running game, because that was Alabama's bread and butter for so long. Because in Saban's system, you didn't need a quarterback to throw 300 to 400 yards per game and score 4 touchdowns. You had a game manager, and you had a good running game, and you had an excellent defense. And the fact that we lost to Indiana really burns my gears, man. We should have stomped Indiana, and we didn't. We were out coached. Their players wanted it more, and we barely beat. And also, I'll be the first Alabama fan to say we did not even deserve to be in the playoffs after losing to Georgia in the SEC championship game. We did not deserve to be in the playoffs. The only reason we got into the playoffs was because who we beat during the regular season. That's it. And I've been watching tape of the Alabama A games, and I think Keelan Russell should be the starting quarterback. No, look, I get that Austin Mack may be DeBoer's boy from Washington, but Mack doesn't impress me. Keelan Russell looks like he has the arm strength, he has the IQ, he has the footwork, he has the total package. And he's just a freshman or a sophomore now. And I think that the Tide still has Ryan Williams, and I think we've reloaded in the running back area. So we'll see what happens. I honestly think that in order for DeBoer to keep his job, especially now since he got that extension, that he has to win a championship this year. If he doesn't win the championship this year, I think DeBoer will be out at Alabama. And had DeBoer not beat Oklahoma, he would probably be at Michigan right now instead of Kyle Whittingham. So, but the conference that I think that's going to surprise everybody this year, it's not going to be the SEC, it's not going to be the Power 10 or the Big 12 or the MAC. It's going to be the ACC, because I think my home state, Virginia Tech Hokies, could win a national championship this year. And that's all because of one man. That's because of James Franklin, the former Penn State head coach. Because Franklin, while everyone has been talking trash about Franklin and how he couldn't get Penn State over the hump, he has embraced the Virginia Tech culture. He has embraced the Hokie way, and he has gotten the blessing of the almighty Frank Beamer to go out and recruit. And I think Franklin's going to implement a good system. I think in the ACC, Franklin can win an ACC championship, and I think he can bring Virginia Tech back to prominence. UVA almost took that step last year, but they fumbled and they lost to Duke in the ACC championship. But do I think UVA can compete right there with Virginia Tech? Yes, I do. I think UVA has a good football team, and I certainly think they have a good basketball team to make the NCAA final this year as well. But I digress. I honestly think that the ACC, in order for the ACC to bring back to prominence Dabo Swinney and all these ACC coaches, they need to embrace the NIL. Florida State looked like Florida State. Georgia Tech hasn't been the same. I mean, North Carolina under Bill Belichick, I was reading in the comments of the two early way predictions. Everyone's predicting that Bill Belichick and the Tar Heels of North Carolina are going to win the ACC this year. I don't see it happening. I don't see that happening. I hope it doesn't happen because, my God, can Belichick's ego get any bigger? So, but anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this John Breakdown rant. Be sure to tune in tonight for Baldur's Gate with me, Yoda One, and please click like and sub to me, Yoda One, at Twitch and YouTube. Also, click like and sub to Primetime Sean Sayers, Blaze McCoy, and everyone in the chat. Big shout out to Atticus Black, Matt Storm, Jesse Jackamer, and I will see you same breakdown time, same breakdown place. Roll Tide.